Getting caught. And, but I have to enjoy him. Ja, Yeah, do that.
I actually didn't realise I had big buckets in there.
Oh shit. Alright.
You okay in the sun out of the
Yeah,
sun?
any doesn't matter.
Alright. relaxes a bit, like kind of not talking a little bit, like it's all in your head. You don't have to verbalize anything. That makes a big difference as well. It's such an old cemetery, it's so cool. It makes you think about life and what your life means. All these people, like they all lived at one stage. So moved on to the next and just keep rolling on. But even if the graves are forgotten or sort of falling apart a little bit, they've been remembered somehow by someone. People put them in, put the headstones up. Makes you think, who'll create your own headstone? Who's going to be the one who does it for me? Not in a bad way, just in an interesting or intriguing way. inside that? Is this video?
Videos, yeah.
Oh, video. All right.
Yeah. And you can cut. It's recording now.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I think after this, I feel like maybe I'd rather be cremated. I reckon.
How come?
I just feel like there's which is great. Someone cared about them and loved them, and they created it. But a lot of the graves have actually sort of been degraded and they're falling apart. A lot of things falling down, and there's no one there to maintain them. And it feels like your memory can probably be better lived on some other way. So I'm kind of happy to not take the space and sort of get back to Mother Earth more quickly than sort of preserving it before I get there. That's what I reckon, anyway. Maybe throw my ashes in the ocean. Yeah. Contribute back to the earth again and be part of that circle of life. That's what I reckon I prefer now after sort of doing this. Yeah. But there is something, I guess, nice about a graveyard too. Like it is quite serene. And it's like a somber feeling, I have to say. It's nearly meditative, but there is a somberness to it. And seeing kind of like even at some graves with like nature. Yeah. So even just like just seeing the nature actually grow through the graves themselves. It's like it's kind of like a mixture of obviously man-made and then nature just really comes and takes over. And there's something beautiful about that as well. I think it's no matter how hard we try to sort of control the world, nature finds a way. And even if we do it like from a level of like super controlled, it will still nature's the one that's going to win. So I figure doing the cremation sort of helps nature along the way as well. That's all part of the circle, like I said before. It does make you think, though. It does make you think about life and death, and what is life about? I don't often frequent cemeteries. I sort of feel like they live on in my heart more than sort of in the ground. But it does really make you think about your own life and your mortality and how long you're going to live for, and who's going to be the one that remembers you when you do die. Who's going to be the one that creates your grave, I guess. But it's also really lovely to think that like everyone here, every person here was loved by someone. Someone loved or cared at least, cared enough to create a grave. There's sort of a beauty in it. There's even in, I guess, in death, like love prevails. Yeah. So it's funny the things you don't think you're going to think about, and then they come to mind when you're sort of faced with it. Things that are deep in there and just get processed when they get triggered. The mind does work quite funnily, I think. It'd be great to know the mysteries of the mind and know how it works, but I think it's just easier to know to go with the flow of the mind, to go with it when it occurs. I don't think we're ever going to get all those answers. I think that's probably one of the greatest mysteries of the world, the mind.
Doesn't mean we shouldn't try to think to discover or research it either, though. It's good to get some answers. It doesn't have to all remain uncertain or mysterious. But I think no matter how many answers we get, I just don't think we're going to get all the answers. And actually, maybe in saying that, maybe we get all those answers when we die. Maybe that's what happens. Maybe the mystery of life gets solved then. I guess if we are going to die, that might be something to look forward to. What happens then? I think it's something more like really intriguing rather than something scary for me. It's death. And if we're still around, can we consider it death? Is it still a life of some other form? Sort of, again, go back to the mind again and just laugh how it just creates all these stories and these thoughts that pop into it that you never really stopped to contemplate before. I think that's something that's really important to do in life, is to contemplate. Is to really contemplate why you do what you do, why you think what you think, why we are a little bit how we are. Because I think in that way it sort of helps us live our truth, live our existence from our most aligned way, I guess is what I'll say. I think a lot of us now, we just try to fit in, or we try to do what we're supposed to do, rather than maybe seeing what we want to be doing or what feels the best to us or right to us at any moment. So I think contemplation can really give us some of those answers. But I think we're all too busy working, trying to make money, trying to stay alive, I guess, without actually saying, well, what are we staying alive for? What are we trying to bring to our life? Because I think what we bring to our life is probably where the most fruitful areas of life come. It kind of adds I guess I call it the flavour of life, rather than just the blandness of the day-to-day. Obviously, every meal needs to have a staple, and you need that blandness, but we want to add the spice, add the flavour. And I think we're all here to add our own unique spice, our own unique flavour. And I think there's, like I said, a real beauty in that. We're not all the same, even though sometimes we want everyone to be how I am or think how I do. I think the differences is what makes it special. Is that there is something for everyone. And it's something that can be something great for everyone or something terrible for everyone. It's sort of, I think it depends on what you choose to focus on, what you choose to do, how you choose to think, really. We're all going to feel pain, we're all going to feel pleasure. How much do we get stuck in one, and how much are we willing to work towards the other? Contemplation. It's great. And just stop and observe the function of, I guess, the universe itself. And in stopping enough and looking, you get those answers, and you hopefully get those answers. You probably get some answers at least, and then carry them forward and teach others. And I think there's a great wisdom in there, a lot of their teachings, and maybe a great wisdom that we've kind of forsaken or forgotten a lot. We sort of put it to the side and just get on with living. But I am really appreciative of my country master, who's really dedicated his life to teaching and bringing that into the modern society too. And really for him, like learning how do you modernize something ancient and make it valid for today? Because if you don't adapt and grow with it, it will become extinct. So I think it's think there's, in Taoism they call it the Wu Wei, which is the watercourse way, and that kind of means finding the path of least resistance, finding the easiest path to get somewhere. And so that really does mean being flexible, being willing to shift and adapt at any given moment to move in the best path and the easiest path forward. And as humans, I think that's not always an easy thing to do. I think that's something that, you know, we get lost in our habits, lost in our conditioning, lost in our beliefs, and we don't want to adapt. We want things to just feel comfortable and familiar to us. But the more we're willing to shift our mind and shift our mindsets to grow and to learn, I think that really does give us a greater sense of peace as we move forward, and a greater sense of succeeding within our own lives and succeeding at having well-being and peace. I think it's, yeah, I think that's really like our goal as humans, is to find our own peace. And I think the peace is found from the mind, or from knowing how to be flexible with our mind. I think that's really where it's at. I think if we're inflexible with our mind, like, that definitely is going to result in, we'll call that conditional peace. But conditional peace means there's going to be a lot of conditional chaos. You know, finding that unconditional, I think that's where it's all at. Yeah. So, yeah, Kung Fu for me opened the doorway to, you know, stopping to think, stopping to look deeper into the function of the world, function of life. And I am, like, forever grateful for that. Yeah. What's funny about doorways is that when you're sort of taking them and walking through them, you actually don't know what you're walking into. So you go in, and then you just think, oh, you know, I'm just here to get a little bit fit. And then the path that it leads you on, and one doorway to the next, you know, you turn back and say, how the hell did I get here? And not even in a bad way. It's like, you know, I'm in an awesome place, but, you know, I never intended to end up here when I started my journey. Yeah. And even that, yeah, I really think that is a beautiful quality about life. We actually don't know what's next, don't know what we're going to get. And if we can be at peace with that uncertainty that comes with that, I think that's, yeah, there's a sense of adventure in that, a sense of intrigue. Because, you know, maybe, who knows if I'll survive today. I've got no intention of doing anything, but, you know, I don't know what's ahead. You know, I'll plan like I am going to live, because, you know, ideally I don't want to just be surprised at everything. There's a sense of, you know, calmness that comes with being a little bit prepared. But there's also a sense of freedom in letting go of having to know what's going to come next. It's a little bit exciting to think, you know, what's today going to bring, what's tomorrow going to bring. And yeah, and I guess for me, I found that it just keeps bringing more new and interesting things, and I guess I say, you know, more life, obviously, but more richness in life is probably the better wording for it for me. Yeah, there's a richness, I think, that I've come to realize in living life now. And yeah, it's not one that I ever saw before. Like, I knew it was there, and I heard about it, but, you know, I guess feeling it and knowing it are two different things. So being able to experience the richness, and the richness in both sides, the richness in the pain, but also the richness in the pleasure. There's richness in both. Obviously, wanting more of the pleasure, but you can't have the pleasure without the pain. So, you know, I've really found the more I can be okay to embrace the pain, the more I actually have more of the pleasure. It's, yeah, it's kind of like you don't have to, if you minimize the pain, then you're minimizing your pleasure. So the more you can let yourself fall, the more you can actually let yourself fly. Yes. Yeah, because really at the end of the day, you know, yeah, things, painful emotions are painful, but they can't hurt us just to feel them. What's the problem in feeling them? You don't have to live in them, don't have to get stuck in them, don't have to let them control our lives. Yeah, there's a huge sense of freedom in that. Freedom in just being able to experience life how you want to live it yourself. Yeah. Life, it really has changed a lot. It's been a journey. And the good part about the journey is the journey goes on, and we move from this part of the journey to the next part of the journey. But learning how to embrace each step of the journey, I think, is important as well. And not always waiting for the next step or waiting for the next step, because who knows when the next step's going to come. And who knows what the next step's going to be. And also, if you're always in the next step, you're always missing your current step. It's, to use the cliche, stop and smell the roses. So, can we smell the roses on the way to wherever we're going? Because when we get there, we're only going to want to go somewhere else. So going somewhere else is just going to mean we miss the roses wherever we get anyway. So, really embracing life right here, right now. That's what I think, embracing life right here, right now. It's as full and rich as it's ever going to be right here, right now. Every single sense of ours is being stimulated at every given moment, so we can access it and tune into it to really get in with that flow of life, to really experience life from our whole being, not just from our eyes or maybe our ears, or getting lost in the mind. I guess, I've got wiser as I've got older. I think really the wisdom is knowing how to bring the knowledge into practice, into your life, into your being. I think that's really wisdom. That's reading books and knowing things is great. Like it's a good start. Unless you really know how to embody that and live it, I think it's only kind of half complete. The job's only half done. But I'm sure there's more to learn, more to get wiser about. And that's great too. It's like, it's good not knowing everything. It gives you some stuff to search, stuff to look for. Gives you some purpose, some meaning as well in that. For me anyway, I've got an inquisitive mind, so I always want to know things. Be comfortable not knowing, but still pursuing knowledge and embodiment of that knowledge. I guess some parts of me haven't changed very much.
Whenever you're ready.
Yeah. There's a lot of obviously streaming services now, and I think it's nearly hard to find something to watch. Not hard because there's not enough out there. I think it's hard because there's too much out there now. Like it's, I'm on Netflix and it's like, how long do I spend? Like, I think I spend nearly sometimes more time scrolling to find shows to watch or to commit to a show to watch rather than watching the show. That's nearly like a job in itself. And, then obviously there's Netflix, then there's Disney Plus, then there's Amazon Prime. Binge is there too, and Stan, and however many more, Paramount. So it's but I guess the thing is, like, obviously we've got to dedicate to find a show, but once you find a show, like, it's actually quite good then, because you don't have to wait like from week to week. I was never someone who really liked waiting week to week to watch TV shows. Like, I did it out of necessity, but the one thing I do like about streaming services is the ability to binge. Though lately I think they're sort of making a trend to trying to go back to week. So now I'm kind of the person who'll just wait till they're all out. Yeah. So that's kind of what I did with Game of Thrones when it came out. I just said, you know what, it's all out now. I'm waiting. Yeah, I don't want to, even when I eat, I guess I just want to gorge. I don't really care to just pick. So it's kind of like that with TV. Yeah. So yeah, finding the right show. It's a journey in itself. And so at the moment, I've gone backwards a bit in time. So I sort of decided to go back and watch a bit of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Hit the late 90s. So it's actually, I quite liked it even then because I did watch it then, but it's actually even quite enjoyable now. I have to say, it's a lot of little smart little comments in there and quirky humour. So that's pretty enjoyable. And it's also good knowing that I don't have to wait for to know what's going to happen at the end. I've got it all there at my fingertips. I don't have to get to the end and say, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next year. It's kind of nice to tidy things up in a nice little tidy bundle. So yeah, so I could probably watch TV like all day every day if I had the option to do it. I'd get a sore body laying that long, but I think I could still do it. I reckon it's it's a pretty like a mind-numbing um, exercise, but also just the entertainment. Entering another world and getting out of your head for a little bit, getting out of your world for a bit, and going on a journey with the creators. I think that's the beauty about creation is that you create, but you create and you take the viewers or the audience on the journey with you, and that's actually the fact that people buy into it and will go with it. It's just awesome. So yeah, I kind of like going on those journeys. I think it's quite fun. You can go and be a pirate one moment, vampire slayer. You don't have to live in any other century. But even you live in this century, and you can experience the best of life on TV. You can experience the worst of life on TV, all from the safety and comfort of your lounge. It's it's great. I really enjoy going to the movies as well. But I think a lot of TV now has been getting people away from the movies. I think the comfort and the easy access to shows and movies now just makes it, the convenience is probably the best word I'm looking for. Convenience just makes it so much greater or easier to do it all. And we're quite busy, so we kind of really like our convenience. We want to be able to Uber our food. We want to be able to just have everything at our fingertips. We don't want to have to wait. So yeah, I think TV's evolved a lot, but I think in a lot of good ways personally. It sort of suits me a lot more. Yeah. But I guess the one downfall is, like I said, the searching and it's like I said, it's a job in itself finding things to watch. Maybe I might, you got personal shoppers like people who choose your clothes. I know Netflix, tries to tell you what's good for you, what might suit you, but I think we might need a personal TV shopper, a personal TV show shopper. You reckon that could be a career? Yeah. Hey, I'd be happy to make that a career for a little bit. People get paid for less and worse. Do you reckon the career exists already? You reckon someone's already tapped into this?
Yeah, probably.
Probably? Alright. I thought I was onto something there. There might be a pioneer here.
No, you could be.
Alright. Maybe. Yeah. Look, I guess if if anyone's hearing me speak, I probably should have kept that one to myself. Most entrepreneurs don't share their secrets before they actually built their business plan and model. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of what I'd call my business if I was a TV show picker.
Frontier Media.
Sorry?
Frontier Media.
Frontier Media, yeah, that's not a bad one. That's not a bad one. Yeah, I'm someone who likes to play on words, so that one's like a little too normal, I guess. Not that the play on words is abnormal. Maybe I'll show you, something like that. We'll play on the word
clever.
Show, maybe, I don't know. That's just spitballing here, I might have to put a bit more thought into this one. But I think I'll show you, and then Frontier Media can be like the parent company that owns it. We need like a proper professional name as well. So I'm not dissing it. I think there's time and place for a professional name. So yeah, I'll show you. I think that's the working title, I reckon. Working business name. Yeah, and then I can like have a finger pointing, like I'll show you. That could be the little logo. I think that reminds me a bit too much of Uncle Sam trying to, conscript people into the to work a little bit more on that one. I think. Yeah. So
What kind of shows did you grow up on?
ooh, it's funny. I was actually talking a bit about this last night, so it's don't have to think too hard on this one. Firstly, I was a big cartoon guy. Like I always loved cartoons, even probably till I was probably like 13, 14, when most people have grown out of them. So I was always a big He-Man fan at first, and then his twin sister She-Ra. So I still have it now on VHS. I got given it for Christmas. The Secret of the Sword is what it's called, and that's when She-Ra got introduced into the He-Man universe as his twin sister Adora. So that was a big one. But then obviously the classics like the Smurfs, they rip off the Snorks. And there was Punky Brewster, Alf. Yeah, Alf was. I don't think it could exist now. I'm sure it can, but it was. I think it was really a product of the times. It was Full House. Then I had to go to Beverly Hills 90210 was up there for a while. So then we're in the 90s there. So Ninja Turtles, forgot about them. Yeah, Ninja Turtles is a big one too. Then I think Buffy came in after that. Buffy, Angel, Alias. I really liked Alias. It's a bit of a chronological order of my TV viewing. Yeah, then I think I went into Medium after that. I feel like Medium might have been soon after that. Yeah, I quite enjoyed Medium. The idea that we can, our spirit still lives and survives. I quite like that one. Because it was based on a real life person, I think it was even cooler. So, yeah, then there was a bit of reality TV I went to for a while. So, old Survivor, yeah, a Big Brother. I think the first season of Big Brother I was all into. Then I think it lost me a bit after that. But actually, what I did spend a lot of time watching was animal documentaries on Animal Planet. Yeah, I spent like years doing that, and then after that, I spent years watching crime documentaries. So kind of like learning about, I guess, animals, and then I guess learning about our animal instincts and how we treat each other and as humans. And to be honest, there wasn't much difference in watching the crime shows versus the animal shows. So that were the main shows I think I watched, and I'm sure I'm skipping lots of years here, but then went through Entourage, the Game of Thrones as well. I really enjoyed that one. Then I guess going back to TV again and going back to the problem with binging is I do watch it and I enjoy when I watch it, but I go back and think I don't even know what I've watched. I can't remember them. I have to I'm glad I just added it to a list, because if without the list I would forget that I watched it, and because I'm just consuming so much. So yeah, I don't even know what I've watched recently. Like obviously there's been Buffy, but I've watched really lots of good shows that I liked. But I have to go back and check my list just to remember what they are. Yeah.